the reality on the field is that Man U is no longer that club from 20 years ago yang Sir Alex pegang and win so many games, 3 titles in a row apa semua tu. No, they are no longer that.
Hai, Assalamualaikum. Sama lagi dengan Maskulin, Podcast Gentle Cakap. Aku Pijo.
Arif. Hai.
Arif. Okay. Untuk episod kali ni, kita macam kesinambungan daripada episod sebelum ni lah. Kita nak cakap sikit pasal bola sepak.
Nak cakap pasal apa lagi kalau aku ada kat sini. Diorang
lain. Kalau guest Gentle Cakap bola,
aku je muncul. Sebab dari segi macam fashion ke apa tak ada. Aku tak handsome macam tu kan. Jadi dia orang tak panggil.
Untuk fokus kali ni, biasalah kita fokus lebih sikit. Main fokus kita kepada opening week 1 and week 2, game week 1 and game week 2 Premier League. Untuk orang cakap this season is very, orang cakap, anticipated by many fans, especially daripada kelab-kelab besar yang macam nak buktikan.
Anticipated
especially kau tak rasa, especially fans Man City dengan Man United dan Chelsea, dia orang macam ada something yang dia orang nak. I think this season, because a lot of the old guards dah start lah nak move on to the next phase of their career, nak bersara ke ataupun nak move on slower games kan. Jadi kita get to see more new signings masuk, and it's exciting lah for Arsenal, for Man City. Sebab Man City almost, bukan kata overhaul, but ramai player baru masuk. Dia punya main star macam KDB apa semua dah out kan. Edison pun nak keluar apa semua kan. Jadi for it's like a rejuvenation untuk setiap kelab ni.
Dia nak, apa kita kata, the next phase ataupun kita kata the next generation nak start naik juga. Jadi kita dah anticipate player-player baru, style baru, manager baru. So for me it's exciting. Of course lah, sebab result yang baru-baru ni exciting lah. Kalau kalah aku tak ada hari ni.
Okay, kita recap sikit 2 game pertama Premier League. So far kita tengok ada 3 team yang dapat 100% record, as the usual suspect.
Usual suspect. Kalau macam daripada 3 tu, 1 tu pelik.
Satu tu macam pelik sikit lah. Tapi under the new manager Thomas Frank, Spurs is looking like something yang mungkin nampak lain sikit lah. For Liverpool and Arsenal, it's not like macam aku nak cakap expected to be there, tapi that's the, orang cakap apa, benchmark yang diorang dah letak. Okay, kita komen dulu pasal 3 team ni lah, especially Arsenal. Aku
duk gaduh dengan orang jugalah dekat YouTube comments kan, the last weekend. Sebab orang kata macam, oh alah takat Leeds je. I understand, bila kita tengok balik Leeds ni pun baru promote, and after 20 minutes diorang dah tak kompetitif langsung lah in the sense. But at the same time kita kena tengok balik lah rekod-rekod Arsenal last season. Tim-tim besar most of the time dia akan win atau draw. But then bila dengan tim-tim yang kecil, aku cakap dengan quote-quote ni sebab dia orang still PL team kan. Seri 2 sama, seri 1 sama lepas dah leading kan. So a good confident win 5-0 is good for Arsenal. At the same time, untuk Gyökeres, untuk dapat dia punya, kita kata, kaki dia tu lah, untuk accustomed to the play style lah. Dia dah score 1, hopefully dia makin lapar. And nampaklah dia dah start nak nganjing. Dia punya kritik lagi sekali sebab dengan dia punya celebration dengan rambut dia tu kan, nak menunjuk yang hey, dia bukan sekadar a pretty face, dia bukan sekadar menambah handsome FC tu. Jadi untuk Arsenal, dia macam lepas satu mental block tu kan, tekanan pada dia. Sebab expectation tinggi kan. Because last season kita ada that meme 007, 008 apa semua bila Havertz masuk and tak score kan. Orang dah start dah cakap, oh adakah Gyökeres ni akan jadi benda yang sama. But 2-0-2 lah sekarang ni, basically 2 games, 2 goals, 0 assists. Jadi for me, Gyökeres dah start lah panas sikit. Jadi kita tengok macam mana next one. And then with Dauman pun, kita kata dia macam Nwaneri lah few seasons back. Dia dapat a few minutes, looking good, mature or not tu kita kena tengok lah. Dia orang sekarang nak panggil dia penalty merchant, padahal baru 1 dapat. So we'll see how lah for Arsenal at least.
Spurs Man City. Adakah kau rasa Man City will be facing same problem dengan, yelah, sebab tengok game week 1 dia orang menang
besar kan. Is it 4-0 is it?
4-0 I think.
Something like
tapi 4 gol lah, dengan Reinders-nya jadi man of the match. Dengan 1 gol 2 assist kalau tak silap aku.
Dia basically City starting off dia of course great, 4-0 apa semua tu, but then Spurs satu is their boogie team for the past I think half a decade now. Dengan Spurs ada je problem. I'm not sure why. I
tak
don't know.
kisahlah Spurs perform ke
yes.
tak.
Even when they are not doing well,
kalau lawan City habis.
Something about it yang Spurs macam kita orang must be the giant killer in this game. But at the same time for Spurs, it seems like some of their players dah start to gel lah in a sense, dengan Solanke, dengan Brennan Johnson kat depan. So I think for them, they're starting to get into the hang of the position, dia punya responsibility. Son dah tak ada, and some would say Son was holding them back last season because dia punya performance is lukewarm lah, sometimes okay, sometimes tak okay kan. Jadi maybe it's unlocking some of the potential of players untuk no longer be under Son punya shadow.
Tapi ini aku baca dekat online lah, ramai fans yang sekarang it's a debatable punya point lah. Ada yang cakap the possession football yang play from the back all the time is not applicable lah zaman sekarang. Sebab the tempo is very high. Every team is pressing, but pressing with purpose.
Faham.
Is it tactical Pep? Adakah dia diconsider
old school lah
telah melebihi zaman dia ke atau macam mana lagi?
That's the thing about these kind of things kan. Dia berubah. Sometimes it takes a longer time, but sometimes almost at a drop of a dime somebody unlock a new style of play kan. Mungkin kita boleh kata people like Pep, people like even Arteta pun for the past few seasons with their possessive football apa semua, it seems like dia bukan kata lapuk, but other teams are starting to counter, other teams are starting to figure out how, and usually it's in the form of low block, park the bus, main kat belakang. We see it even in the local scene. Kalau kita tengok GDT contohnya, when they are playing teams, most of the team takkan main open, simply because they know kalau dia orang main open, dia orang kena hentam habis. So dia orang akan park the bus and dia akan penuhkan belakang tu, so you can possess the ball. Sure, can you actually score? Can you shoot? So we'll close off that apa tu kita kata the door for you to shoot kan. Jadi for teams like Arsenal, City, those kind of style, mungkin orang dah kata okay, we know how to counter, we know how to play, we play transition, we counter attack, because they will be about halfway dekat halfway line tu dia defender. If we can get our striker seorang pun bolos ke belakang, that's it. We have to have a fast striker ke apa kat belakang kan, terus boleh score.
Semalam ada game Liverpool versus Newcastle. Semalam adalah antara orang cakap apa, antara game yang paling chaotic pernah aku tengok.
Kita kata
in the sense of because ada banyak faktor yang menjadikan perlawanan itu chaotic. First, because of the issue of Isak. The match itu sendiri jadi hot tempered atau
heated, loaded.
Aku tengok data kan semalam, percentage ball tu dimainkan hanya 40.8%. Meaning the balance is tackle something else lah. Very chaotic. Aku macam kenapa dua-dua team? Tapi memang tapi the good thing is benda ni dia remind balik aku pada zaman-zaman era Barkley dulu, yang masa tu English football macam nak berhentam lah kerja main kan. Tapi it's not good thing sebenarnya, especially for a team like Liverpool. Sebab bagi aku semalam Liverpool not playing well.
Faham.
We won the match 3-2. Nak cakap luck tu tak juga, sebab we make our own luck kan. Tapi Liverpool menang aku rasa based on the experience yang ada pada the core players yang dah do everything, macam Van Dijk, even Szoboszlai pun aku dah anggap dia macam senior player sekarang. Tapi
kad merah tu membantu.
Ya. Tapi kad merah tu pun aku rasa because of Gordon, dia terbawa-bawa sangat dengan the emotion, dia kalau kau tak level headed, that's the thing yang boleh berlaku.
I think for Newcastle lah kan, at least or as a club, mungkin Gordon ke apa, dia nak buktikan yang they are at a level yang Isak should be happy to paling-paling pun stay for another season lah kan. Mungkin dia orang macam kata Isak nak keluar, and of course Liverpool is the target. So a lot of the talk online is Isak should be able to leave because he is going to a club above. And I'm not saying that is untrue. Liverpool has shown that they are the better club in general. They have won EPL, UCL apa semua tu, but for a player, of course kau tak suka lah bila club kau kena slander macam tu kan. Like this is my home, this is his home right now. Respect that, walaupun dia tak boleh keluar is because of reason apa-apa. To be told that you are a smaller club, of course dia akan marah kan. But Gordon memang dari dulu nampak jugalah dia ada that issue with anger management. As an Arsenal fan selalu je nampak dia tackle keras.
Masa aku ada baca stat, dia dah 5 red card kot since dia join Newcastle.
Dia masuk Arsenal, kalau dia dapat masuk Arsenal lah, naik lagi ke atas. Itu dah standard, jangan risau. 5 tu nothing. Kita ada berapa ni red card pelik-pelik, jangan risau. Datang Arsenal.
Okay, for Chelsea dia menang 5-1 dengan West Ham, walaupun dia bolos dulu. Tapi dekat situ aku tengok player-player baru dia mungkin dah nampak boleh gel up together.
Betul.
Macam sebelah kanan dia ada Estevao, mana yang baru.
Allah, nama-nama dia orang susah nak follow because of there are so many new players sekarang. João Pedro is a scary one lah. Simply dia PL proven kan. So,
tapi bagi aku the problem yang mungkin Chelsea ada sekarang adalah dekat defense dia kot, sebab Colby injured kan.
Betul.
So aku dengar pun dia orang nak cari replacement. Okay, talking about replacement, how would you rate transfer each club, especially in the top 6?
Well, for Liverpool, I think generally diorang dah cover all of their bases. They got a good player in Ekitike, and Ekitike pun dah score 2 games kan. So
3 games.
3 is it? I mean
Community Shield.
Orang tak pandai.
3 appearance, 3 goal lah.
But like in PL specifically, dua game kan. So it's good for him. Masuk-masuk and a lot of the trust apa semua on him tu dah nampak lah from the team kan. So on Liverpool side, overall okay. Maybe on the defensive side tu mungkin kena work a bit, because we can see from the past 2 games ni.
Actually aku rasa sebenarnya kena ada seorang.
Because
we trying to sign Guehi. Tapi hopefully jadi. Tapi aku tak sure. Tapi that is very critical
position
sebagai
lah.
fans Liverpool. Aku rasa that is a very critical position yang perlu ada backup lah. Sebab kita jual Kwansah pun we need a replacement.
Because 4 gol bolos tu.
Yeah. That's why aku rasa nampak ada something. Sebab Konate bagi aku in the last 2 game ni dia macam
tak okey ya.
Tak okey sikit. Dia tak okey sikit. Dia belum macam Van Dijk tu harus kerja keras sikit. And then aku tengok Kirkes pun dia macam trying to adapt. Ni for me lah, pendapat peribadi Dia macam trying so hard to prove something, tapi in the end you did error here and there. Kau faham tak?
Dia nervous.
Dia ada player yang try too hard to prove something, tapi sebenarnya bila dia trying too hard tu lah yang teruk tu. Dia macam
Yelah, because bila kita tengok balik in general for Liverpool lah, dia punya record tu kan 4 gol bolos berbalas dengan 7 gol masuk kan. So it shows that the striking side, the midfield to the top side tu okay. It's just the bottom, the defenders tu a bit shaky. So in a team,
tapi it's not a good tactic to macam okay kau biar orang score 2 kau score 3. It's very dangerous kan. Dulu Real Madrid pernah buat benda yang sama, and then sometimes jadi, sometimes tak jadi. You in order to cakap apa, to achieve macam, especially kalau nak menang Liga, your defense have to be solid.
Next week is it dekat Anfield?
Anfield.
So like if they're playing the same way, contoh lah kan, and Arsenal managed to absorb, because Arsenal punya defense is one of the better defenses in the league. Arsenal boleh absorb and then boleh transition and then counter ke apa with Gyökeres kat depan. There's a possibility that it could be the first win in Anfield in over 10 years.
Are you that confident?
I'm just saying lah. Like if we're looking
fun
at
fact, the last time Arsenal menang dekat Anfield dalam perlawanan Liga adalah pada tahun 2011.
Exactly. See. So I'm just saying lah. Like if we're looking at the style of play yang sekarang ni lah kan. So if let's say Liverpool still wants to play, I would call it recklessly. It means that belakang dorang tu terbuka and Arsenal boleh absorb and then dia balas balik. You know, who knows what could happen. With Eze dah masuk. So speaking of like kita transition ke Arsenal pula. Eze
talking
masuk.
About Eze sebenarnya kalau dekat Arsenal kau rasa dia main belah mana? Kiri atau kanan?
Well, supposedly ramai kata awal-awal tu dia akan main kiri. Dia akan jadi apa tu,
so dia
complementary.
So dia compete with Madueke and
Martinelli Trossard. Selagi Trossard tak caw.
So korang tak nak jual ke?
Supposed to be Trossard katanya kan. But yelah, Arsenal has not been good at selling. For the past 10 years plus, susah orang nak beli. And for some reason
or the other
baca
lah, Arsenal is not a selling club. Sebab rasanya player paling mahal korang pernah jual pun
kat kau orang kan.
Macam Melin 38 kan.
Kat kau orang. I think it's also because Arsenal is a club yang bila diorang ada star, those are the only players yang star. You know, diorang naik. Dia punya secondary players kita orang tak bagus generally. So bila diorang dah naik and then either we get to sell them high atau they will drop off in performance and then barulah kita nak cuba jual. So contoh Sanchez, Ozil, you have players that are so good but we hold on to them for so long
and then the prices
drop and then bila performance diorang dah makin teruk, lagilah kita akan nampak problem-problem ni kan. So Arsenal as a selling club not yet fixed lah.
Tapi aku dengar Arsenal macam nak tambah seorang back kiri ke kanan
itulah ada nampak juga. Tak ingat dia punya nama. Again,
macam
nama
betul-betul revamp lah tahun ni.
Mungkin dah keluar pun on Arsenal side pun Tomiyasu dah keluar dan Partey dah keluar. So I think having that depth is good because Arsenal for some reason bila player masuk injured. So that's not good. Having a lot of depth, speaking of like macam depth ni because of Eze contohnya kan, kita kata tadi mungkin main kiri main kanan kan, with Saka pula dah out 3-4 minggu. So Eze boleh ganti ataupun mungkin Madueke ataupun even Trossard atau Martinelli boleh dorang swap wing, which is a style of play yang Arsenal dah lama tak main. And Havertz pun dah out.
Havertz out lama
Not sure. Actually aku tak follow sangat dia punya news tu. Dia macam
tak ada laporan berapa lama
dia just kata kita akan check. So we'll see lah. But
tapi biasa macam tu biasa serius.
Tapi tu yang orang cakap tu dia lawak tu.
Setengah injury ni dia tak serius tapi kadang-kadang injury yang ambil masa lama yang nak pulih. Dia macam contohnya hairline fracture.
Itulah. We'll have to wait and see lah for Havertz itself macam mana. But Gyökeres right now showing good promise, and then technically kalau dia tak Gyökeres perlu direhatkan, Merino ada. Which is a very weird sentence to say, but Merino is our backup striker. Woo! But in terms of like in general, aku tengok play yang Arsenal, at least Arsenal side, everything is solid right now. The youngsters are stepping up. MLS ada kat belakang. So for kiri, Timber, Calafiori, MLS dah cover. Belah kanan technically Timber lagi sekali. White pun macam tengah recovering lah. So White ada. And kat tengah tu Kiwior pun last season kita nampak dia step up bila Gabriel out apa semua kan. So backline solid, midline pun dah start nampak Zubimendi apa semua tu.
Cakap pasal ni aku nak tanya opinion sikit. Arsenal dah 3 tahun berturut-turut cakap dapat pingat kedua. Betul. Tapi dengan orang cakap sebab season lepas mungkin Arteta cakap sebab kita tak ada striker. Tahun ni you guys have Arsenal dah orang cakap perkuatkan almost every position.
Ya betul.
Including the backup keeper. So do you think this will add another pressure for him untuk at least go for at least FA Cup or League Cup?
There is in the community at least lah, bila aku masuk Reddit ke apa ke, there's always this conversation whether or not this should be, bukan kata final, but a high expectation for Arteta. But I believe daripada dia masuk dulu pun the expectation should have been high pun for him personally, because he got from 8th to 5th to 2nd for like 3 seasons in a row. Would it be great to win? Yes. But what he has brought for Arsenal, kita tengok 2 season lepas Arsenal tak jauh dekat UCL. So nombor 2 but without any other competition. But then last season pula nombor 2 but UCL pun one of the furthest we have gone in about over a decade. So this season should be winning, yes. But for me as a not a die-hard fan, aku boleh lagi kata who is better to replace him. That's another issue.
If kalau dia tak berjaya lah. Do you think he should be replaced with another one? Mungkin tak lah, bagi aku mungkin that's the highest yang dia boleh achieve.
Faham? Dia punya ceiling tu lah.
Sometimes dalam bola sepak orang cakap you have tweak a little thing, sebab macam orang cakap ramuan tu ada. Mungkin api dia tu tak besar sangat nak masak. Contoh.
I think boleh jadi the conversation lah. If let's say betul-betul kita boleh nampak throughout the season that there is just no possible way for Arteta to improve his game, as a manager, as a coach, then yes, we should bring in a new manager with a fresh view, but yang tak terlalu lari daripada the current style of play. Bukan apa, because we don't want to be, and sorry to say, don't want to be like a Man U for the past few seasons, where you keep changing manager and all the players are a mixed bag of manager A, B, C, semua ada. So you don't want a Vangal player, a Solskjaer player and apa semua tu yang masih staying, yang tak boleh fit dengan current system of Amorim contohnya kan, but they're still on the payroll and you still playing them because they are the best that you have. So we don't want an Arteta player tiba-tiba kita masuk a totally different system, but the whole player right now is for Arteta system contoh. So boleh jadi Arsenal tukar manager, but it will also.
But is it a do or die this season?
For him mungkin lah. For me as a fan, I don't want to see him to just macam kita tukar for the sake of tukar. It must be with a plan and a vision. Or kita tukar, this manager must be somebody proven or can bring Arsenal just that one step further. So not just tukar sebab dia tak menang. We don't want tukar sebab tak menang. We want tukar sebab dia boleh menang. There's a difference lah. At least for me, the principle is different.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion for Arteta.
Okay, tadi kau sentuh pasal Man United. Okay, sekarang kita nak cakap pasal Man United sikit.
Wow.
Okay,
bias.
Honestly, aku tengok both game yang diorang kalah dengan Arsenal, and then yang diorang seri dengan Fulham. For personally, aku rasa even masa lawan Arsenal pun, they are playing not that bad.
Yeah.
Macam
a lot of people kata better team.
Better, macam challenging lah.
Yes.
Mungkin ada here and there, mungkin finishing ke tak kena, tapi orang cakap the revival tu dah nampak macam
starting
ada.
lah.
Sama macam lawan Fulham, diorang macam first half tu pun ada banyak yang kena tiang lah semua.
Yes.
And Kunya nampak yelah, he obviously dah a few season with Premier League dengan Wolves. So Premier League proven player macam Mbeumo dengan Kunya, orang cakap they have nothing to prove sebab diorang dah cuma kena prove something bila bermain dengan kelab seperti Man United sebab you are playing with bigger club with higher expectation and higher intensity and higher, orang cakap apa, performance yang require. For you, kau ada tengok game?
I watch, of course, dengan Arsenal tu aku tengok yang itu little bit side story. Aku dapat jumpa dengan Badner kat situ kan, so macam nice lah dapat tengok big screen. Pergi. But in general, I would say if they can maintain, satu is the healthiness lah, because Mason Mount right now is playing at the centre front. At least with Arsenal dia main kat tengah-tengah depan where dulu Højlund ataupun siapa dulu Højlund lah basically. So if he can keep fit, because Mason Mount issue dia injury. If he can keep fit, very injury prone. So if dia boleh keep fit and kiri kanan dia Mbeumo dengan Kunya boleh, they can link up apa semua tu, I think they can be solid. If Mount injured pula, now they have to think, okay, siapa yang akan diri kat tengah tu, yang boleh diri kat tengah tu. Tu issue diorang is that they do not have the depth. Ni yang kelakarnya sekarang ni, Man U do not have the depth. Their players drop off in terms of like, if you change whatever player yang in the top 11 now, is dropping off gila-gila.
Tapi itulah, ramai ini universal punya ramai yang cakap Amorim ni kadang-kadang dilihat seperti very stubborn dengan dia punya cara. Sampai kan orang cakap macam dia nak main 3 at the back, macam dia macam
tak boleh adapt lah.
Tak boleh adapt satu. Lepas tu macam very stubborn, orang cakap nak tukar. Even though benda tu dah obviously nampak
doesn't
tak
work
kena. Doesn't work. Sampai kan ada stat baru yang aku baca, jumlah point dia dengan Man United sekarang dengan jumlah game lagi banyak. Kalau tak silap aku 29 game dia main, dia manage Man United, dia dapat 28 point. And that is not a good number.
Betul.
For a manager yang dikatakan manage sebuah kelab terbesar di
itulah
di England lah.
As an Arsenal fan, looking at how the board, the players, even the fans have backed Arteta for the past like 5 seasons or so, it shows that when you want to rebuild, it's not as easy as just tukar manager. Sebab tu aku cakap tadi, kalau nak tukar manager, it must be purposeful. We have to wait and see if the board of Man U side, which already have issues of their own, will back Amorim in the same way, because
tapi they are already spending almost 200 plus, I think.
Spending is one thing. Spending is satu, betul. But the problem with Man U is that they always buy or overbuy player punya value lah. Too much in my opinion. But what they're supposed to do is to have a vision of what the club, or at least the play style should be lah, which is what Amorim wants kan. And we can see in the transfer window recent one lah, it's not that much pun sebenarnya diorang spend. They got 2 proven players apa semua, but generally their lineup is unchanged if we look at their defensive, dengan Delete, dengan Casemiro apa semua tu. So those players are still there. And those are not Amorim punya player. Those are Ten Hag or whoever before him punya player. And so whether or not Amorim will have the backing is something to be seen. But knowing Man U punya record, I don't think he'll stay for that long lah if this is how it's looking. So we cannot judge much because Amorim is orang je kata dia mungkin dah sampai ceiling dia because he is not a prem manager. Dia daripada liga bawah sikit kan, Portugal and which is not as competitive lah orang kata. So whether or not he is the man for the job, we have to wait and see. But Man U punya essence to what they are trying to achieve to, we also do not see. They have just offloaded some of their big names macam Rashford loan.
The problem with Man United sekarang, dia ada surplus player yang still in Man United.
Yes.
Contoh macam Garnacho, Sancho is still under contract dengan dia.
No number pula tu.
Højlund and most of them dengan weekly salary yang very very high. And then aku dengar sekarang Man U pun macam ada problem dengan Amorim. Sampai Amorim cakap the position yang dia nak main tu dia kena compete dengan Bruno. Itu aku tak tahulah sejauh mana yang betul tak, tapi ini yang aku baca lah. Is it Amorim punya approach macam contoh dia dengan Rashford, bagi aku agak harsh jugalah. Dia buat dia macam sisihkan terus. Is it okay, player lain, sebab player lain dia akan tengok tau. If you can do that to my teammate, you can do that to me too.
Betul. I mean, the easiest parallel as again because this is one of the more public lah, because they have their all or nothing tu kan. So on Arsenal side, you can see the same problem happening juga, where players got a bit too big lah in their ego ke in their their for the club. So Arsenal pun kena go through the same thing. They had to cut off people like Aubameyang, which is one of our better strikers kan. So and dia disisihkan, dia training solo for a while apa semua tu. And maybe for Arsenal side is because they bought or they have a lot of like younger players. They are much more easier to mold because bila Arteta masuk, some of the players yang dia beli is quite young lah. The aim is always like 25 below. Some ada veteran kena ada, but generally they're quite young.
Same policy yang Liverpool pakai lah.
So when you have a younger player base, you can slowly mold them into what you want them to be, like how disciplined apa semua tu kan. With Man U right now, a lot of their players are veteran players. Bruno, Casemiro, some of them okay lah, kita boleh kata still below 30 or around that age, but Maguire, so some of them are quite veteran, some of them quite experienced. And they might not be as flexible to mold. They might have come from a time yang lagi more freedom for them, either in Man U atau luar Man U.
And now they are looking for new keeper pula. The same problem yang diorang cuba replace De Gea dengan Onana.
Now cari lagi satu Bayi India yang tengah main sekarang. I don't know what's going on dengan Man U. I don't understand. Onana was supposed to be the solution, but now dah tak jadi. So it goes to show that for Man U, there is more than just the manager problem. There is more than just the money problem. It's all about what the culture of the club is. They are such a big club. They are such a prestigious club that they cannot convince the players that they are not there anymore. Most of these players are holding on to that legacy. So like for Man U players yang mungkin diorang tak nak move on lagi lah from that legacy kan, kita kata. So they are in this position where they expect so much in terms of salary, in terms of their playing time, because when they see Man U is coming for me, their agent ke diorang sendiri ke akan rasa macam I'm better than a lot of other players. And I'm not saying they are not, but the reality on the field is that Man U is no longer that club from 20 years ago yang Sir Alex pegang and win so many games, 3 titles in a row apa semua tu. No, they are no longer that. So all they have is the prestige, but then they don't have the quality in terms of training, in terms of mentality. It's always all these players yang kita boleh kata agak entitled lah. One of them being Bruno, because now like the thing yang tengah naik sekarang ni, even though Bruno tak cakap apa-apa, Neville and Ashley Young I think, diorang cakap referee kacau, that's why Bruno penalti dia melalut tak ke mana, tak turun-turun lagi tu rasanya bola. It goes to show that you are so entitled when your players are being are bad. You just cannot see that they are bad, that they are not good and not performing. You are excusing every single thing. So that is something yang kena fix, but we don't know how to tackle it. We don't see the inside kan, Glazers apa semua tu. We don't know the internal mechanics of Man U, so we don't know who is exactly the problem. You can change all your managers every single season, and if the system itself within is rotten, the manager cannot do anything.
For this week prediction,
Alright.
Chelsea versus Fulham.
I think Chelsea boleh. Chelsea
rasa,
boleh. Fulham has not shown that they are at that
comfortable
level.
home win.
Should be.
Wolves versus Everton.
I think Everton. Simply just because Wolves is invisible. Everton pun baru kick off their season really well. Their first home game of the season kan. Really well. So I think Everton can go far jugalah.
For me, might be a draw.
Might be draw
Spurs Bournemouth.
Go Bournemouth. I'm not saying much about Spurs simply because this is biased. Bournemouth haven't really shown much of anything.
And
so
diorang pun tak replace player yang belah.
So I think Spurs
macam
boleh menang.
Hoyson Kerkes keluar kan macam
Spurs boleh menang, but knowing them, sometimes they will drop the ball. So maybe draw, but leaning Spurs menang lah.
Rasa 2-1 lah.
Boleh Spurs, boleh jadi
United and Burnley.
Kalau kalah ni aku rasa kita punya editor boleh masuk gua. Episod ni tak keluar. No, in all seriousness, Burnley is not exactly kita kata at that level yet. Kita baru nampak 2 game lah of course kan, and one of them is against Sunderland. But Burnley masa before diorang kena relegate last time, they were the punching bags. Man U should win comfortably, but if they cannot, then it will be a shock to everybody.
Same, aku rasa Man United boleh menang 2-0.
Should be comfortable.
Sunderland Brentford.
Sunderland is showing promise. I mean they won first week tu kan. Brentford always will be favourite lah because it's so early for Sunderland for me to say.
Brentford will be without Mbuemo dah keluar.
And then Wissa pun
tengah mogok.
So maybe
dengan
boleh
Thomas Friend pun dah keluar.
Boleh upset but still leaning to apa tu Brentford lah. Just a bit lah.
For me aku rasa mungkin Sunderland dia macam in dalam fasa honeymoon masuk Premier League baru.
They have to take apa tu kita kata advantage.
So aku rasa mungkin slight win, mungkin 1-0.
I think on that lah kita kata sikit lah kan. For clubs yang baru masuk, yang baru lepas apa tu kita kata promoted, dia punya first few games ni menentukan season diorang jugalah. If daripada awal ni diorang dapat club yang kuat ataupun just kena bantai, I think by half tu diorang dah hilang lah. So I think this is Sunderland punya they must win. Let's go Sunderland walaupun aku tak suka korang sangat.
Leeds Newcastle.
I mean Newcastle favourites.
Newcastle favourite tapi dengan Anthony Gordon
out. Isak pun tak ada.
Aku rasa Newcastle gonna be struggling.
They can struggle.
Leeds dia cuba main Pep punya style lah, macam possession football, tapi the speed of Premier League is quite different from Championship. Tapi saying that aku rasa mungkin Leeds boleh menang
mengejut 1-0 and then park the bus ke apa something lah.
2-1 aku rasa.
Let's go Leeds maybe. Kita tahu nak sokong ke tak.
Brighton Man City.
I mean Man City should be the easy winners. Brighton tak
tapi
nampak.
Brighton pun kadang-kadang boleh jadi bogey team dia juga.
Boleh, yes. The thing about Brighton is that they are so unpredictable. But they have lost a lot of their key players lah. João Pedro being one of them. So I think it's leaning City. A draw is great. Please draw. Aku tak nak City. Gitu good ni.
Aku pun rasa City boleh menang.
Should be lah.
Mungkin Brighton boleh score 1 sebab aku rasa defense City tak sebagus dulu lah. Mungkin aku rasa 2-1.
I mean their keeper pun dah tukar kan. Right now
they try to beat Donnarumma.
But who they have now is Trafford. Edison.
Tapi itulah cakap Pep ni dia beli macam tak menjadi jual. Kadang tak jual pun. Macam ni. Macam Savinho dia beli macam sekarang nak jual. Macam they have that kind of luxury lah.
They have the money, they have the pool for people to come, try, tak okay. Orang lain nak pula beli jual lah. So good for them lah.
Nottingham Forest versus West Ham. Siapa main fantasy football mungkin minggu ni korang boleh ambil player Nottingham Forest lah. West Ham sekarang very very bad.
No, I don't see West Ham doing much lah right now. I don't know lah apa yang tak click. Maybe it's Graham Potter, maybe it's the player.
This is time you
keluar. Bench lah Bowen tu. But I think Forest is the favourites lah of this game. I don't see West Ham yet. Not yet.
Aku rasa Nottingham Forest boleh menang 2-0. Aston Villa Crystal Palace.
Villa pun baru lepas kalah. Dia tengah pancit sikit lah. Crystal Palace tengah happy sekarang.
Dia sejak dia menang FA Cup tu dia macam the continuation of playing competitive football is very good.
And even though diorang dah lose, like for example Eze kan, I think as a team they can still go, and diorang yang kena downgrade ke? Diorang yang kena downgrade tu kan. So I think the pressure of them not playing a European yang top is also good for them in a sense, because they have not yet proven that they can play in the top European league lah. I might be talking out of my butt, but Crystal Palace should be able to win against Aston Villa.
Okay, and last one, Liverpool Arsenal.
Wow, kita punya soundman.
Soundman cakap
4-0. 4-0 belah mana tu? Aku takut juga. It is at Anfield, so home ground advantage for Liverpool. For Arsenal, I think a draw would be the usual for the past 3 seasons also, draw. If we can win, that'll be great. Because dah lama gila tak menang S2, and like we discussed earlier lah, defensive of Liverpool is a bit fragile. So if Arsenal can absorb the attack, because the attacking of Liverpool is almost perfect, you absorb the attack, and then if you transition atau you counter, and Gyökeres punya hunger tu ada, I think can be a factor lah. The good thing is that even if it's a draw now dekat Anfield, Arsenal has put aside 2 major big team punya home games. Old Trafford dah, and now is Anfield, and then I think
Old Trafford big ke?
I mean bocor lah.
It
still has the atmosphere is still there, and for Arsenal themselves, even when Man U is not performing, Old Trafford is a boogie place lah, just because. So I think if we're looking at, it's a toss up for me, it's quite close to 50-50. Advantage Liverpool simply because some of the players are experienced, and they of course lah baru lepas menang kan, so they have this so Saka pun tak ada. Sama yang kita ingatkan, Saka tak ada for 3 to 4 weeks. So for Arsenal, it's something that they have to prove with the new signings. So siapa yang akan ganti Saka belah kanan, Madueke ke, ataupun even Eze boleh masuk, or Nwaneri ke kan, yang breakout kan. So I think for Gyökeres, it's good that he scored twice. And I think that's something yang boleh carry over to this upcoming week lah. So for me, it's a toss-up. Advantage Liverpool, especially because it's home ground. But we are always shocked with PL punya results. So if Arsenal boleh menang, I will be a happy camper. You guys will see me next episode senyum-senyum. If kalah, well, by that point pun aku rasa aku okay je, because Liverpool is a proven team, and Slot did win their his first season around. So we'll see lah whether or not it's a fluke, orang kata fluke, or he's actually the real deal for Liverpool. So
mana boleh fluke, jadi champion bukan fluke.
I mean,
for me, mungkin macam betul lah kau cakap, mungkin Liverpool playing at Anfield is an advantage itself.
Yes.
Cuma itulah, we see how the tactical both team turunkan. Sebab kadang not every match team yang besar ni akan pakai approach yang sama. Macam Slot, dia very flexible. Orang cakap okay, lawan opponent ni dia tweak main tactical ni,
which is what a manager should do lah kan, basically.
So for me it's going to be a close game, but I think we manage to come on top lah sikit.
Boleh lah.
Bagi aku mungkin the score is very small, mungkin 2-1.
Mungkin lah. It could be a very close.
AKTK will score again.
Nak 3 in a row For Arsenal side, kau batuk. For Arsenal side, I think the one thing yang aku quote-unquote risau is always when Arteta pulls this weird tactics dia. Kadang-kadang lah, who he will place dekat belakang atau kiri. Kadang-kadang tiba-tiba kau tengok, kenapa dia main kat situ? So that is the scary part whenever Arsenal kadang-kadang
overthinking ke apa macam tu?
I think it's just him trying to see if it will work. But sometimes the timing dia buat
dulu
tu,
Pep selalu buat macam tu.
Cuma the timing yang Arteta buat kadang-kadang pelik-pelik. So we'll see lah. But with the depth yang ada, with the players yang baru masuk, with Gyökeres, with Eze, with Madueke, even Madueke yang orang mungkin write off, dia dah, bukan kata usurp, but dia dah take over the left role. Either to rest Martinelli for next week, because Martinelli can blast through the left side, or memang betul Madueke has shown that he's the better on the left. We will have to wait and see. But overall, I think can be a good match to watch lah. Hopefully it will be a great match to watch. Kat tengah tu Odegaard lah yang mungkin orang tengah eyes on. Guy is not on his game since the injury last season, since getting a baby, and now pun injured sedikit with his shoulder. So we'll see if he and Nwaneri, can see lah siapa yang boleh masuk kat tengah tu next. So Let's go. Come on you Gunners.
Okay.
Let them walk alone. Gitu.
Okay, aku rasa itu saja untuk episod kali ni. Kita cakap pasal Gentle Cakap pasal bola Premier League. Mungkin kita jumpa lagi mungkin untuk episod hujung bulan ni ke awal bulan depan. Sekarang kita record ni masih bulan 8 lagi. Okay, sebelum tu tak terlambat aku rasa untuk ucapkan selamat menyambut hari kemerdekaan semua. Kibarkan bendera, make sure bendera tu kibar dengan betul. Kalau tak nak viral. Cuti kalau boleh jangan pergi tempat-tempat orang ramai lah. Ini musim-musim orang keluar Kalau tak nak sangkut dekat jam ke apa, duduk je dalam rumah. Okay?
Duduk rumah cuti, tengok bola.
Okay, sekian dulu daripada aku, Wijo.
Jangan lupa juga korang boleh tengok episod ni nanti dekat korang punya dekat Maskulin, of course, Maskulin punya platform, but also dekat sini. Korang boleh download secara percuma dekat App Store, Play Store and also Huawei App Gallery. So datang ke situ, ada konten Maskulin dan banyak lagi lah yang best-best. So jangan lupa.
Okay, bye.
Bye.